Hello everyone and welcome to my summer round of my Cat-Walk TBR. Yes, I do these seasonally as well. So for this one, we're going to start out with 10 rolls. That is always subject to increase. I do the doubles and everything like that. So this covers this will help me pick books to prioritize for June, July, and August. And so the books that I pick for June, July, and August, I will try to pull from those books first before adding additional books in for those separate monthly TBRs. So I do this seasonally as well. I think for my dice today, I'm going to be using my purple and we'll use the pink cat one. So where this is a seasonal one, we're using the seasonal board. I do have my challenge board off to the side so that when I get a double, we'll switch over to that. And there's really nothing else I can say about that. So let's go ahead and just delve into roll number one out of getting at least 10 prompts. So let's see how this goes. I did almost forget. I do need to do a random number generator to see what spot I'll be placing my little cat token on first. So going to Safari here and Google random number generator. Okay, so it has the minimum of 1, a maximum of 10, and the number 7 there. I have 30 spots on this board. Okay, let's see where the token will be starting. Spot number 18. Okay, so spot number 18 is right here. So that's Juneteenth. Okay, so let's go on to roll number 1. Moving 9 spots. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Summer ending. So summer ending, and I don't remember what I was thinking for this one, but it is a random generator. So I have some different generators in this. So let's go ahead and pull out. Let's go with this one. And this is, okay, a random song. So I'm going to set this one to the side. Okay, so for random song, I'm going to go to my Amazon Music and my library. Songs. Okay, and I'm just going to hit this little randomize. Okay, so the one that came up is Castle, The Huntsman's Winter. This is by Halsey. Okay. Castle makes me think of royalty, so maybe I'll go with something with royalty. I don't know. It's also part of the soundtrack, or at least this edition was. I put it on as like a playlist for a book, where it has the playlist at the start of the books. And let me go back. Can't remember which one it is, but the Huntsman, Winter's War version. So maybe something wintry? I don't know. All right, so for this one, I'm going to go with a castle on the back of the cover. So it's on the cover, but it's on the back. It says, let's see, so the tagline is, history divides them, fate unites them, will love keep them together. This is 1,000 Heartbeats by Kiera Cass. It says, I told myself that it had been the rain. It was something hitting the mountain, or a tree falling, or anything else, really. But every time Lennox smiled or touched me, or even looked at me a certain way, I would hear it again. The sound of 1,000 heartbeats. So I'm going to go with this mostly because there's just a castle on the back cover, so I'm going to say it fits. All right, moving on to roll number 2. Okay, moving 5 spots. 1, 2, 3. Back to the start. 4 and 5. This one is Father's Day. So Father's Day is to read a book with a man on the cover. I'm going to go with a manga on this one. And I'm going to go with A Man and His Cat, volume number 4. This is just the story of a man and his cat and their life together. That's literally what this one is. So I'm looking forward to continuing this series. I'm enjoying them. These are very cozy, comfy type reads, very quick. And so I thought I'd get a few of these on there if I can. So yeah, let's go ahead and see what the next one brings. Okay, so we are on to roll number 3. Okay, moving 8 spots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Fireworks. So, fireworks. This one, you watch the fireworks. You see the fireworks. So this was my interpretation of doing a YouTube TBR game. So let's draw a booktuber out of this and see what the next grouping of prompts will be. I'm going to go with this one. And this is Esme from Bookish Buddies. So I'll set this one off to the side in my little jar on my bookcase off to the side. I will go and watch Esme's recent one. Let me pull it up here. I know she's had one out recently. Bookish Buddies. Game of the books for April. So I will watch that. I will write down the prompts and the book. I will pick the books. I will link Esme's channel as well as the TBR game that she played in the description box. Please check out Esme's channel. She does a really good job. And I will come back with the books that I picked for her prompt. Again, her channel will be listed so that you can check her channel out if you have not already, as well as definitely the game that I'm basing this little portion off of so that you can go and see her reaction when she got the prompts, as well as what books she picked. Okay, so the first prompt that Esme got, yes, I am back, obviously, from watching her video, is to read a book that has a black cover. So for this one, I'm going to go with this one. It's mostly a black cover. This one is The Woman in the Library by Sulari Gentill. Could have said that wrong. In every person's story, there is something to hide. The ornate reading room at the Boston Public Library is quiet until the tranquility is shattered by a woman's terrified scream. Security guards take charge immediately, instructing everyone inside to stay put until the threat is identified and contained. While they wait for the all-clear, 4 strangers who'd happened to sit at the same table pass the time in conversation, and friendships are struck. Each has his or her own reasons for being in the reading room that morning. It just happens that one is a murderer. Prompt number 2 is to read a seasonal book. So, since this is my summer TBR, I'm going with a summer read. This one is Summer in the Scottish Highlands. This is written by Donna Ashcroft, and this is a romance. It says, 30-year-old Paige Dougal's life is a mess. Only a year ago, she was smashing all of her life's goals. Handsome husband, high-flying job, cute kid. But in just under 12 months, everything has gone wrong. Nursing a broken heart, single mother Paige returns to her childhood home in a picture-perfect Scottish village to try and get her life together. Paige is too wrapped up in her worries to embrace the beautiful rolling hills and lavender-scented air of the Highlands. That is, until Johnny Becker, the infuriatingly cheerful chef, with his twinkling eyes and dimpled smile, steps onto the scene and provides Paige with some much-needed distraction. Johnny challenges Paige to step outside her comfort zone and focus on the things that really matter. From food tasting to puppy training to mountain climbing, in every moment she spends with Johnny, Paige finds herself remembering how to live again. Will she be able to love again too? Across long sunshine-filled days, Paige and Johnny grow closer, and she's tempted to open her heart to him. But is happy-go-lucky Johnny hiding secrets of his own? And can Paige learn to let go of her past and find happiness in the Highlands? So, obviously it takes place in the summer, so it will be a summer read. It says it right in the title, so I'm going with that. So the next prompt was a wild card, and my understanding with the wild cards is it's basically a free choice, my pick, whatever she wants to read, so that's what I'm going to go with. And I want to read more of my Fear Street books by R.L. Stine, so I just grabbed one blindly. I'm going to go with The Prom Queen by R.L. Stine. Don't know which one in the series, but you don't need to read these in any order. Gavin from How to Train... It used to be How to Train Your Gavin, and I am suddenly blanking. Anyway, Gavin, he did a vlog where he read all of the Fear Street books, and I never picked up on this, but I haven't read all of the books, but evidently characters from previous books show up later on in the series as like background characters or just have passing roles or something. But anyway, so the Prom Queen, it says, Dance of Death. A spring night, soft moonlight, 5 beautiful prom queen candidates, dancing couples at the Shadyside High Prom. These should be the ingredients for romance. But stir in one brutal murder, then another, and the recipe quickly turns to horror. Lizzie McVeigh realizes that someone is murdering the 5 prom queen candidates one by one, and that she may be next on the list. Can she stop the murderer before the dance is over for good? Plus, for I don't know, and I'm wanting to get some shorter, quicker reads on here because I don't know what the months will bring moving forward in the summer, so if I can get some shorter ones on here, that would be great. Okay, the next one, Esme allows herself to do a redraw. So this one, I'm actually able to combine both of the prompts, so the original prompt that she drew as well as the one for the redraw. So she drew immortal characters. My mind immediately goes to vampires. Got that covered. The redraw was to read a popular book. Again, I can easily combine those two. I'm going to go with Twilight by Stephenie Meyer. About 3 things I was absolutely positive. First, Edward was a vampire. Second, there was a part of him, and I didn't know how potent that part might be, that thirsted for my blood. And third, I was unconditionally and irrevocably in love with him. I know she moves from Arizona to Washington to live with her dad. This will be a reread for me, and I have been wanting to pick this one back up and reread this series, so looking forward to it. So, immortal vampires, and it's popular. We all know that. It's popular. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to the reread of this. And the last prompt, well, yes, it's not the last book that Esme picked, but the last official prompt from her game, and that's what I'm going with, is to another wild card. And so I am going with another kind of seasonal read. I've been wanting to pick this one up, but I've kept putting it off. I'm going to go with The Summer I Turned Pretty by Jenny Han. This will be the first time I'm reading anything by this author. It says, some summers are just destined to be pretty. When each summer begins, Belly leaves her school life behind and escapes to Cousins Beach, the place she has spent every summer of her life. Not only does the beach house mean home away from home, but her favorite people are there. Susanna, her mother's best friend, and her sons, Conrad and Jeremiah. Belly has been chasing Conrad for as long as she can remember, and more than anything, she hopes this summer will be different. Despite distractions from a new guy named Cam and lingering looks from Conrad's brother, Jeremiah, Belly's heart belongs to Conrad. Will he offer his to her? Will this be the summer that changes everything? So another seasonal read, which is awesome, and I've been wanting to get to this, but other books have just taken priority. So we'll see what I think of Jenny Han's writing. All right, so we are now on to roll number 4. Okay, 5. Sorry, keyboard's in the way. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. International Dog Day is on, I believe that, I have it written down as the 26th. I think it's August 26th. So International Dog Day is to read a book that has a dog on the cover. My best bet for this was to go and look at Cozy Mysteries. And I do have one that is the first in a series, and that one is, you will have more than likely seen this one pop up, and I haven't gotten to it yet, but I'm going to use this one, Murder at the Beacon Bake Shop. A Beacon Bake Shop mystery by Darci Hannah. There's the dog. After catching her celebrity chef fiancé sizzling in the arms of another woman, Lindsay Bakewell left big city Wall Street for small town Beacon Harbor, Michigan to pursue her own passion as a pastry baker and gets mixed up in someone's sweet taste of revenge. More interested in kneading dough than adding it up, Lindsay's breakup inspired her to set up the shop she always wanted, in a place that always made her happy. She'd spent many childhood summers near this beach community, and converting the old run-down lighthouse into a bakery cafe and home offers a perfect fresh start for Lindsay and her devoted Newfoundland dog, Wellington. But not everyone in town has a sweet tooth. The Preservation Society won't have the lighthouse's history sugar-coated by lattes and cakes, and a protest group crashes Lindsay's Memorial Day opening. Then her ex-fiancé, Jeffrey Plank, and his girlfriend, Mia Long, arrive to trash the place. In the ensuing chaos, Mia chokes on a donut and dies. An autopsy reveals cyanide in Mia's bloodstream, and Lindsay is the police's prime suspect. To clear her name, she's going to need to combine ingredients found in the town's checkered past to uncover the identity of a desperate killer. All right, we are on to roll number 5. And we're moving 5 spots again for roll number 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, vacation. So vacation, this is to read a book that is set somewhere that I would like to visit at some point, somewhere I want to go. I do admittedly like to travel. It is overwhelming, but I do enjoy it. I have very little experience, so will my enjoyment be what I expect it to be? I don't know. Who knows? But one place, I don't know, I want to go to Scotland, I want to go to England, Germany, places in the US, I want to go to Vegas, I want to go to California. I have been to California, but I would like to go back to California. I want to visit Washington, Georgia, Florida, pretty much any state. So I am going to go with, for this particular one, keep Paris. So I would like to visit Paris. I think that would be rather enjoyable. Will that ever happen? I doubt it, but it does say, I think this is said this was a second chance. So the series is Boston Brothers. This is a second chance series. So this is written by Kelly Kay. Tensions have never been higher, and you know the best way to relieve tension. Paris is the perfect place for first love, but when it doesn't turn out the way you thought, perhaps Paris is better left behind. 2 rivals vying for one job in this, and this is an all-out war. The battles are getting more intense, but so are their feelings. Perhaps signing her up with beananny.com or registering him with the Scientologists is child's play compared to what they really want to do to each other. Hayden rarely hears the word no, especially from women, with 2 exceptions. One from his past and one from the present. He always gets what he wants. Bet hates Hayden Corelli almost more than the boy who broke her heart into a million pieces 10 years ago. But this is different. The teasing is relentless and the pranks have been clever, but she needs to focus on winning the job. He may have won a battle or 2, but this is war. Driven by her ultimate heartache of Danny Danson and the 12 weeks they spent falling in fated love in Paris, she fuels her need for success. Between wanting to bury Hayden Corelli and forget Danny, she repeats her mantra often. A play on a famous movie line. We'll always have Paris. Well, screw that, he can keep Paris. And Hayden, well, he needs to keep out of her way and out of her thoughts. So I don't know if this whole thing will be set in Paris or where else, but I pretty much want to visit a lot of places. So if at some point it takes place in Paris, Paris is in the title, great. If it doesn't and like she comes to the United States, then I'm sure somewhere in there will be a place that I would like to visit at some point. So I'm going to go with this one. Okay, roll number 6. Okay, moving 11 spots. Keyboard's in the way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11, Flag Day. Okay, so Flag Day. This is to read a book that is set in a country that I have ancestors from. So, Scotland, Germany, Ireland, England, maybe specifically the Wales area, Russia, Prussia, and I don't remember exactly where else outside of the United States, but I do have ancestors here in the United States, mostly in, I have a lot of ancestors in Colorado, which I visit, but before Colorado, it was like Oklahoma, Kansas area. So I'm just going with the United States because I know I have ancestors there who traveled from various countries to come to the United States. I even had an ancestor that went from, I believe, England, and then went to Canada, and then from Canada came to the United States. So I could use Canada. Anyway, this one I'm going to go with is set, I can't remember where, but it is in the United States. And this one is My Name is Lucy Barton by Elizabeth Strout. Lucy Barton is recovering slowly from what should have been a simple operation. Her mother, to whom she hasn't spoken for many years, comes to see her. Gentle gossip about the people from Lucy's childhood in Amigosh, Illinois, seems to reconnect them. But just below the surface lie the tension and longing that have informed every aspect of Lucy's life. Her escape from her troubled family, her desire to become a writer, her marriage, her love for her 2 daughters. Knitting this powerful narrative together is the brilliant storytelling voice of Lucy herself. Keenly observant, deeply human, and truly unforgettable. So I don't know if she lives in Illinois, but there is references to Illinois, or Illinois, I think it's Illinois. Could be wrong on that. If you live in that state, definitely let me know. But, so, I'm assuming it's in the United States, because it does mention Illinois. Plus, if it doesn't, I'm guessing it's probably more along the lines of Chicago or New York, just because of the imagery on the front. So we'll see where exactly it is set, but I am assuming it's in the United States. All right, we are on to roll number 7. And we are moving 9 spots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Fireworks again. And we got another fireworks, as you will have seen. So this is another YouTuber's booktube game. So let's draw another one. And just as a reminder, these go off to the side, so they will not come up for the rest of this year. Hopefully not until this jar is completely empty. If I happen to go through it in a year, great. But I just want to be able to feature other booktubers here as well. So let's go with this one. Set that to the side. Oh, I've got 2 here, so closing my eyes. Okay, going with this one. And this one is Bobbie from Paginator Reads and Journals. So, all right, let's take a look. Okay, so the recent game was just posted 2 days ago as of filming this one. It's TBR game May 2025, plus twists. And I actually have not seen this one yet because it just came out 2 days ago and I haven't gotten to it yet. So I'm excited to get to this one. So I will link Bobbie's channel in the description box. Again, it is Paginator Reads and Journals. And I will also link the video that I will be watching to get these prompts. So I will go watch this. I'll write down the prompts. And then I'll come back with the books that I picked to fulfill the prompts that Bobbie got. So let's see how this goes. Okay, so I have watched Bobbie's video. There's 13 prompts. So I have picked 12 books because one of them you will see in a minute, as far as I need to do something first. So the first prompt was a middle grade that is set in the future. So for this one, I'm going to go with Futureland by H.D. Hunter. And for this one, I looked a little bit because it doesn't say exactly that this is the future. I'm assuming it is because of the artwork. And it says Futureland. But I went through a little bit more through the front and it says Interview Output Report 0001. Date August 29th, 2048. So definitely in the future. And this one is a middle grade. It says, everyone wants a ticket to Futureland, the extraordinary flying park where you can literally live out your wildest dreams. Want to step inside your favorite video game? Go pro in a sports arena? Perform at a real live concert? Grab your ticket and come right in. Yet with all its attractions, Futureland has always just been home to Cam Walker, the son of the park's famous creators. And when Futureland arrives at its latest stop, Atlanta, Cam is thrilled for what promises to be the biggest opening ever. But things aren't quite right with the Atlanta opening. Park attractions are glitching, kids start to go missing, and when his parents are blamed, Cam must find the missing kids and whoever's trying to take down his family before it's too late. Sorry, very shiny cover, but yeah. I think I got this one from Once Upon a Book Club, I believe. Oh, Owl Crate. Owl Crate. Owl Crate Jr. The second prompt that Bobbie got is to read a fantasy from where she got the prompt from G's card deck. The prompt was North Pole, and that is to read a book set in the winter. So a fantasy set in the winter. This one is tagged on Goodreads as fantasy. This is a retelling of A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens. This one is Christmas Carol, but with a K. This is written by Faith Moore. It says, Carol Charles does not have time for ghosts. It's Christmas Eve, and she's at the office. So where I'm in the United States, Christmas is in the winter. That's what I'm going with. Okay. Let's see. Sure, her kids thought she'd be making cookies with them back at home, but this is important. This is what it means to have it all. Then a familiar cough from the adjacent room jolts her out of her work. It can't be possible. Marley is dead. She has been for years. With Marley's death, Carol is now running their law firm by herself, but she still strives to live by her best friend and law partner's creed. The job makes the money, and the money buys the things that make your family happy. Working all this time is a sacrifice Carol has made willingly. However, Carol's life takes a drastic turn when she falls outside of Rockefeller Center and has to be hospitalized. But something is wrong with this hospital. There's a ghost in the waiting room and another magical visitor in the lobby. With them, Carol revisits long-forgotten memories and begins to unravel the truth about her current situation and a future that is anything but cheery and bright. So it's a modern take. Hey, don't be trying to eat the tape, silly girl. Polly's trying to eat tape. So a modern take on Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol. This next one is the one I do not have a prompt for, and the prompt that Bobbie ended up with was a Goodreads scroll. So I'm pulling up my Goodreads right now. Okay, so I am on the home page, and now I'm going to reposition you so it's a little bit easier for me to see. I'm not trying to look through the viewfinder thing. And let's see what Bobbie explained it, that it's the first book that they own unread. And that's what I was planning on anyway. So let's see what comes up, if anything comes up at all. Right here, immediately. So that's not bad. This is the 1, 2, 3, 4 book lovers. But do I have this one? It's going to take a minute to load. I know I have one book by Emily Henry unread at least. So let me see if I have this one, or if I've just marked it that I want to read it. Okay, so I have it marked as want to read. I'm going to go to my tags. I do not own this one. Otherwise, I would have it marked as owned TBR or owned TBR Kindle. Neither of those are selected. So let's go back. Okay, so book lovers I do not have. Okay. One Last Shot by Betty Coyette. This one does not look familiar, but let's see. Maybe it's on my Kindle. It is not. There's that One Last Shot again. Flames of Chaos by Amelia Huchins. I have this one on my Kindle, so that's what I'm going to go with. Okay. Okay, so as you saw from the Goodreads scroll, I landed on Flames of Chaos, Legacy of the Nine Realms. This is book number 1 by Amelia Huchins. So I have this on my Kindle, so I own a copy of this, so I will be reading that. I don't know what it's about. This is one I obviously got for free. It says, let's see, from Amelia Huchins, award-winning author of The Fae Chronicles and author of the internationally best-selling series Playing with Monsters, comes a new dark and sensual epic fantasy series set in a world of magic realms, mystical creatures, royal intrigue, and betrayal. Join Aria Primrose Hecate on a journey of self-discovery as she races to find her missing twin sister and save her family from a war that's been brewing within the 9 realms for over 500 years. Arya and her sisters return to the human realm of Haven Falls to find one of their own that's gone missing. They soon discover things have changed in the human realm and that nothing is what it seems, including Nox, the egotistical, self-centered, frustratingly gorgeous man who declared himself king during their absence. Sparks fly when the two enter a fiery battle of wills as Arya learns she is more than just a witch in the Hecate bloodline. She is much, much more. Will Arya embrace her savage side to find her sister and save her family? Or will she burn to ashes from his heated kisses and burning hot embrace? Nox has interior motives for being in Haven Falls and never expected the little witch to show up and brazenly challenge his rule. It was supposed to be easy. Get in and get out. Move pieces into place and set the stage for the war he's been planning for over 500 years. Arya is his sworn enemy, but something within her calls to him, and he hates himself for craving the fiery kisses that have reignited his cold, dead heart. One taste, and he thought he could get her out of his system. He was wrong. Will Nox let go of the memories of the past, driving his need for revenge that will destroy the pretty little witch he craves? Or will he push the boundaries to fight for and claim what is his by right? Either way, war is inevitable, and nothing will stop him from reaching for what is his. And this is a fantasy romance, paranormal, enemies to lovers, witches, dark romance. Book details, it says it's 563 pages for the ebook, so. But yeah, all right, that's on my list now. Okay, next prompt that Bobbie got is a fantasy, and the prompt for the fantasy is to read a book that keeps tempting you. I'm going to go with this one, This Woven Kingdom. It's been on my mind since I first originally saw it on BookTube. Finally got the series, and I've still been wanting to pick it up, so I'm going to go with this one. It says, to all the world, Eliza is a disposable servant, never to be known for who she really is, the long-lost heir to an ancient Jinn kingdom. She is hunted always, forced to hide in plain sight, lest she expose herself to danger, until one day she makes a mistake. The Crown Prince, Cameron, has heard the prophecies. He knows that the fearsome monster promised to kill his king. Darkness is fast descending upon his empire, driving Cameron to desperately seek out its source. But as he grows ever more suspicious of the servant girl with the strange eyes, the more he learns about her, and the harder it is to turn away. Even if falling for someone like Eliza, I don't know how to say the name, means forfeiting everything he's ever known. So, okay. Okay, the next prompt is to read a YA book, and this YA book needs to have an animal on the cover. For this one, I'll be continuing a reread of a series, and that is the Hunger Games series. This one is book number 2, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. So you got a snake and a songbird there, written by Suzanne Collins. There's no synopsis. Just think kids fighting to the death, okay? But the quote on the back says, ambition will fuel him, competition will drive him, but power has its price. The next prompt that Bobbie got is realistic. And so this one, the prompt to go with realistic is to continue a series. For this one, I consider realistic more in the contemporary genre. So generally, if it's a contemporary, like contemporary horror, you know, as long as there's like, if it's a horror or mystery, there's no fantastical elements in it. This is realistic, could happen in the real world, like a horror with a serial killer and you're trying to survive. But I'm going with a contemporary romance. And the author I'm going with is Talia Hibbert. I find Talia Hibbert's writing to be very realistic as far as the struggles and the thoughts that the characters in the books have. So to continue a series, I'm going with book number 1.5 in the Ravenswood series, and this is a Ravenswood novella, and this one is Damaged Goods, and I find these very realistic. So, second chances shouldn't feel so sinful. Laura Burns' husband is a monster. Her diamond ring is a trap, and her pregnancy is the push she needs to finally escape. She runs away seeking safety and finds Samir Bianchi, her long-lost teenage sweetheart. With his kind eyes and dirty smile, Samir's still hot as hell, and he still treats Laura like a goddess, baby bump and all. The wild boy she spent one magical summer with is every inch a man, and he's more than ready to care for her tiny family. But Laura's been keeping a secret Samir might never forgive. When she finally confesses, will he remain by her side? Or is this fairy tale ending too good to be true? So, again, Talia Hibbert's writing I find to be very realistic and relatable in a lot of ways, so I am counting this one for realistic. Okay, prompt number 7 is a young adult book, so a YA, and the prompt for this one is to read a book that has sky in the title or on the cover. And I'm going with on the cover for this one, and this is book number 1 in the Books of Bayron series, written by Shannon Hill. This title is The Goose Girl, so it's like a night, dawn, sky, but there's trees there, so there's sky in between the trees. And yeah, so it's like a gradient of purple there, but that's sky. So I'm counting that. And yeah, let's see. This one says, some people are born with the first word of a language resting on their tongue, though it may take some time before they can taste it. Anadori Kaladra Talana Isley, Crown Princess of Kildare, spends her first years of her life listening to her aunt's stories and learning the language of birds, especially swans. As she grows up, Annie develops the skill of animal speech, but she never feels quite comfortable speaking with people. So when Annie's mother sends her away to be married in a foreign land, she finds herself at the mercy of her silver-tongued lady-in-waiting, who leads a mutiny that leaves her alone, destitute, and fleeing for her life. To survive, Annie takes on work as a royal goose girl, hiding in plain sight while she develops her forbidden talents and works to discover her own true, powerful voice. So, I've had this one for a while, I just haven't picked it up, but yeah, now's the time. Okay, the next prompt is miscellaneous genre, miscellaneous age category, so I can read whatever I want as long as it has a map. So for this one, I'm going to go with 5 Broken Blades by Mai Copeland. Hoping I'm saying that correctly. I love the stenciled edge. As far as the map goes, I will show you. There you go. So, it has a map. It's the season for treason. The king of Yusan must die. The 5 most dangerous liars in the land have been mysteriously summoned to work together for a single objective, to kill the god Sing Jun. He has it coming. Under his merciless, immortal hand, the nobles flourish, while the poor and innocent are imprisoned, ruined, or sold. And now each of the 5 blades will come for him. Each has tasted bitterness, from the hired hitman seeking atonement, a lovely assassin who seeks freedom, or even the prince banished for his cruel crimes. None can resist the sweet, icy lure of vengeance. They can agree on murder. They can agree on treachery. But for these 5 killers, each versed in deception, lies, and betrayal, it's not enough to forge an alliance. To survive, they'll have to find a way to trust each other, but only one can take the crown. The crown. Let the best liar win. Sounds good. Next up is Anything I Want, as long as it fulfills the prompt that it is not a debut book. So I'm reading book number 6 in a series, so definitely not a debut. This one's a middle grade, and this is book number 6 in the Dork Diaries series. This is written by Rachel Renee Russell. This one gives me Valentine's Day vibes. It takes place over a whole month, and that's what I'm really liking about this one. We're following the character Nikki Maxwell, and yep, this starts out on February 1st, so this will take place over February. How to know your crush likes you. He wants to go with you to the biggest dance of the year. There's totally still time to ask him. OMG, what if he doesn't say yes? OMG, what if he goes with Mackenzie? Again, another realistic fiction, but I wanted to use it for this. And this is told in diary or journal format, and there are pages with a bunch of big drawings in it. So I am thoroughly enjoying this series. So yeah. The next prompt is to read a middle grade that has gold or silver on the cover. This one has gold foiling on the cover, so I'm going with this one. And this is book number 1 in the Frostheart series. This is Frostheart by Jamie Littler. So as you can see, there's that foil reflecting back at you. Far out in the coldest part of the monster-infested snow sea, Ash waits for his missing parents, with only his grumpy Yeti guardian for company. But when an ancient accident reveals that Ash has amazing magical powers, he's whisked aboard the Frostheart, an explorer's sleigh with a daring crew who need his help. Can they help Ash master his new powers and find his family? The next one is any age category, any genre, as long as it has an adventure. So adventure is the key word here. For this one, I'm going with Raiders of the Lost Heart by Joe Segura. Yes, baby. Hi. This is a romance. I got this one from Once Upon a Book Club in 2024. And they definitely look like they're going on an adventure. Archaeologist Dr. Socorro Corey Mija has a bone to pick, literally. It's been Corey's life goal to lead an expedition deep into the Mexican jungle in search of the long-lost remains of her ancestor Chimali, an ancient warrior of the Aztec Empire. Going on an expedition, that's an adventure, in my opinion. Okay. When she is invited to join an all-expenses-paid dig to do just that, Corey is sure it's just too good to be true, and she's right. As the world-renowned expert on Chimali, Corey should, by rights, be leading this quest, not sharing the glory with her disgustingly handsome nemesis. But Dr. Ford Matthews has been finding new ways to best her since they were in grad school. Ford certainly isn't thrilled either, but with his life in shambles, the last thing he needs is a reminder of their rocky past. But as the dig begins, it becomes clear they'll need to work together. A thief is lurking around their campsite, forcing the pair to keep their discoveries and lingering attraction under wraps. With money-hungry artifact smugglers, the Mexican authorities, and the lies between them closing in, there's only one way this all ends: explosively. This next official role from the game that Bobbie got was to read a fantasy, and the prompt was to read a book that will fit with a random word generator. So I'm just going with the words. I believe Bobbie said 10 words is what it was in the video. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yes, 10 words. So if I can get any of these words to fit this book, it will work. Now, looking at the cover, I'm already going to say it does, because one of the words is smell. Well, there are flowers on this cover. You expect flowers to smell and hopefully smell good. Some don't smell so good, but I would hope that these ones smell good. So that is one of the words. The other words for the random generator that Bobbie did was height, voyage, guilt, lion, he, fit, economics, smell, emotion, and publicity. And I chose The Betrayals by Bridget Collins. And this is a standalone, it looks like, on Goodreads. It says, if your life was based on a lie, would you risk it all to tell the truth? At Montvere, an ancient and elite academy hidden high in the mountains, society's best and brightest are trained for excellence in the Grand Jeu, the Great Game. An arcane and mysterious competition that combines music, art, math, poetry, and philosophy. Leo Martin once excelled at Montvere, but lost his passion for scholarly pursuits after a violent tragedy. He turned to politics instead and became a rising star in the ruling party, until a small act of conscience cost him his career. So a small act of conscience maybe involves guilt, definitely has emotion of some kind, so there's at least 2 of the words, so, and including smell on this, so 3 out of the 10 words definitely fit. Okay, let's see. Now he has been exiled back to Montvere, his fate uncertain. But this rarefied world of learning Leo once loved is not the same place he remembers. Once the exclusive bastion of men, Montvere's most prestigious post is now held by a woman, Claire Dryden, also known as the Magister Ludi, the head of the Great Game. At first, Leo feels an odd attraction to the Magister, a mysterious, eerily familiar connection. Again, emotions are involved. Though he's sure they've never met before. As the legendary Midsummer game approaches, the climax of the Academy's year, long buried secrets rise to the surface and centuries-old traditions are shockingly overturned. So, I think this will fit. The last prompt, Bobbie did a dice roll with some dice that was purchased at Barnes & Noble. So the first roll was to pick the category or the genre, and the genre that came up was mystery. And then the second dice was to read a book from a certain location. So a mystery from a location. Bobbie kept rolling the dice. Library kept coming up. Library's not going to work for me right now because for the summer, I don't know what books I'll have still checked out from the library or what I will be checking out from the library. So Bobbie kept rolling and then ended up with buy new. I have already purchased a book that will be arriving. And the book I have ordered is The Generation Killer by Adam Simcox. This is book number 2 in the mystery series titled Dying Squad. And this is a paranormal mystery series. So for this one, Joe is dead. Daisy May shows up, kind of helps lead him to come to the understanding that yes, he is in fact dead. And Joe is tasked with figuring out who killed him. That is the book. It's a mystery. And Daisy May is helping him with this and helping him get through things. So that's what I'm going to go with for that. Now, those are all of the prompts for, not my game, but for Bobbie's game for that was released 2 days ago. The May round. So now let's go ahead and continue on with my rolls. So that was roll number 7. I am now on roll number 8. Okay, going for roll number 8 now. Oh, look at that. That is a double. Let's get the challenge board. And I ended on spot number 10. So 10 for the challenge board is right here on YouTube. Again, I rolled an 8. So let's move 8 spots. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 coloring. And there was no +1 on this one, so we're good. But I do have a punishment. Okay, so as you saw, roll number 8 got coloring. This is to read a book that is inspired by the current coloring book I'm working on. I'm currently not working on any, but the last one I did, which I can't find right now, was very spring vibes. Flowers, 2 garden gnomes, very pastel cover. So that's kind of what I'm going with, is the flowers, the pastel, spring vibes. So for this one, I'm going to go with The Little Village of New Starts by Donna Ashcroft. Spring vibes, pastel, flowers. So let's see. Evie, sometimes turning everything upside down just feels right. Evie is playing it safe. She lives on her family's farm in the Scottish Highlands and never ventures beyond the local village. The most unpredictable events in her life are the antics of her grandmother Agnes's pygmy goat. She's learned that bad things happen when she's impulsive, and she's determined not to get burned again. Callum is exactly the opposite of what Evie needs. 6'2" of reckless energy with twinkling eyes and a dangerously charming smile. He's a thrill-seeking American firefighter. Callum enters Lockton like a whirlwind, fleeing his problems in New York City in search of the truth about his family. Yet the pair might have more in common than they think. When Agnes persuades her to help Callum find his grandfather, Evie finds herself being challenged more than she has in years. Turns out it's easy for Evie and Callum to connect when they let go of their fears and enjoy the most surprising summer of their lives. But getting close to Callum so quickly soon starts to look like it might ruin everything for Evie. She's heading for a disaster exactly like the one that destroyed her a year ago when she fell for the wrong man. Maybe a fresh start isn't going to be so simple after all. Is the safe haven Evie's built about to crumble down around her? So this takes place in summer, as you will have heard from the synopsis, but it's got the pastel and the flowers, and so I'm still going to go with this one for coloring. Okay, TBR cards. Okay, let's go with this one. Choose the smallest book on your shelf. The next, so as you saw, it was a punishment card. And the prompt for the punishment card was to choose a book that was the smallest on my TBR shelf, or my smallest book on my shelf. So for this one, I am going to go, mass market paperbacks are pretty small, but I can pretty much guarantee that R.L. Stine books are probably going to be one of the smallest books on my shelf. So I'm going with, this one is 150 pages, and this one is the Fear Street book, The Face. Why can't she remember? They say something horrible happened that day, but Martha can't remember any of it, not the smallest detail. They say it will come back to her in time, but someone wants her to remember now. She draws his face over and over, the face of a dead boy. She can't control her hand, and she can't remember how he died. But she's going to find the answer, even if it lies with the dead. All right, we are on to roll number 9. I thought that was another double for a second, but we're moving 10 spots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Arts and crafts, no +1, we are good. So roll number 9, arts and crafts. This is to read a book that is inspired by my current arts and crafts project. I have a paint by numbers going. I have a cross stitch bookmark I am working on. Most of the stuff I have going on right now involves yarn, specifically for crocheting. I don't have a book, or at least I couldn't find one about or involving crocheting, but I did find one that has a bunch of yarn on the cover, so that's what I'm going with. This is a cozy mystery, and this one is Knit 1, Kill 2 by, oh, there's a knitting pattern. I don't know how to knit though. Maggie Sefton. Let me see the knitting pattern. So there's a recipe for Maggie's cinnamon rolls. Kelly's first scarf. Use 2 skeins or balls of colorful chunky wool yarn, which gives 5.5 stitches to 10 centimeters or 4 inches with the US size 35 or 36 needles. Yeah, so this is, I mean, maybe I could convert it to, but it doesn't look like a scarf. It looks like it would be a shirt. So I don't know, or a vest. Talks about joining the shoulders. So I don't know. But yeah, I would like to learn to knit. So anyway, so okay, this one says, despite the fact that her aunt was an expert knitter, Kelly Flynn never picked up a pair of knitting needles she liked until she strolled into the house of Lambspun. Now, in the first in a brand new series, she learns how to knit 1, purl 2, and untangle the mystery behind her aunt's murder. Kelly Flynn would be the first to admit her life in Washington, D.C. is a little on the dull side. But coming back to Colorado for her beloved aunt's funeral wasn't the kind of excitement she was seeking. The police are convinced that her Aunt Helen's death was the result of a burglary gone bad. But for the accountant and Kelly, things just aren't adding up. After all, why would her sensible 68-year-old aunt borrow $20,000 just days before her death? With the help of the knitting regulars at House of Lambspun, Kelly's about to get a few lessons in cranking out a sumptuously colored scarf and in luring a killer out of hiding. So, as you can see, there's a bunch of yarn. There's yarn on the table. There's yarn over here. There's yarn over here. There's a ball of yarn up here. So, with crocheting, I'm using a bunch of yarn. This has yarn, so I'm going to go with it. I've also heard that by several people, knitting is more advanced than crocheting, but if you can learn to crochet, then you can work your way into knitting. So hopefully that would be the case, because I would like to knit as well. All right, we are on to roll number 10. Okay, moving 5 spots. 1, 2. Get some stuff out of the way. 3, 4, and 5. Outfit, again, no +1. We are on a roll. Okay, so outfit. This is to read a book that is inspired by my current outfit. I have blue jeans on and I have a black shirt that has a little red and white. So I'm going with the color theme. There is some white lettering, there is some red lettering, and this is mostly shades of gray and black. And I'm going to go with As Good as Dead by Holly Jackson. This is book number 3 in A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. So I am not going to read the synopsis on this one. I just know that this one follows Pip. She starts out as a senior in high school, except it's in England. And she has to work on a capstone project, and she decides to delve into a case that she believes was not solved correctly, basically, and it puts herself and those that she cares for, puts their lives in danger. And so this one is the conclusion of that. Well, book 1 finished the capstone project. Book number 2 was trying to help a friend find a missing relative, and then now we have this one. So this is like a third case that she's going to be delving into, I'm guessing. I don't know much about it, but so we'll see kind of where this one goes. So yeah, book number 3 and the final installment of A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. All right, roll number 11. Is this going to be the last roll for the summer TBR? Nope. We got a double. Okay, but I'm going to switch back to the summer board. So moving 4 spots, we ended on the challenge board on space number 3. Okay, so we're on the summer board, and again, got 2 2s, so moving 4 spots. 1, 2, 3, and 4. This one says Mom. So Mom, or this is actually called Mom's Birthday. So this is to read a book because my mom is a woman. She identifies as a woman, all of that good stuff. It's to read a book with a woman on the cover. So I am going to read, I think this one's it's either middle grade or young, like maybe an early young adult. This was originally published in, I think before I was born. Let's see. 1987, 1959, and 1930. So it looks like originally published in 1930. And this one is the Nancy Drew series. I'm going to start reading this. I've read a few, definitely not in order. I don't think I've read The Secret of the Old Clock. I may have. I don't remember. It would have been a very long time ago. But, oh, why not? So The Secret of the Old Clock. So there's the woman on the cover. Nancy Drew Mystery Stories, The Secret of the Old Clock. Okay, let's see. Millions of fans have matched wits with Nancy Drew, helping her solve more than 50 baffling cases. So I don't know what this is about, other than it's a mystery, and evidently this is going to involve an old clock. So, yeah, we'll see. This one cost me $4.95 at a used bookstore. Okay, due to the double, choose a book about your favorite holiday. All right, so another punishment card. This one is, as you saw, to read a book that is about my favorite holidays. So this book I've been really wanting to get to. I don't know exactly, there's 2 holidays on here, and I'll just show you. So it's Christmas vibes and Halloween vibes. This one's my favorite holiday, Halloween, but Christmas is a close second when I'm in the mood for Christmas. So I think I enjoy the Christmas thoughts and feelings and vibes any time of the year except at Christmas time. And that's because if you work in retail, you know how ornery people can get. And that tends to dampen my mood and love for Christmas. But outside of the year, the rest of that, thinking about Christmas, I enjoy. But Halloween's my favorite, so I don't know how much of the Halloween will be in there. This is giving me kind of like the Nightmare Before Christmas movie by Tim Burton vibes, where Christmas and Halloween kind of collide. So I'm going to go with this one. And this one was a gift from my friend Amy from A-Star Reads. I will link Amy's channel in the description box. Thank you, Amy. I am thoroughly looking forward to this one. This one says, Nicholas Cole Claus used to love Christmas until his father, the reigning Santa, turned the holiday into a PR facade. Cole will do anything to escape the spectacle, including getting tangled in a drunken, supremely hot makeout session with a beautiful man behind a seedy bar one night. But the heir to Christmas is soon commanded to do his duty. He will marry his best friend, Iris, the Easter princess, and his brother's not-so-secret crush. A situation that has disaster written all over it. Things go from bad to worse when a rival arrives to challenge Cole for the prince's hand, and Cole comes face to face with his mysterious behind-the-bar hottie, Hex, the Prince of Halloween. It's a fake competition between two holiday princes who can't keep their hands off each other over a marriage of convenience that no one wants. And it all leads to one of the sweetest, sexiest, messiest, most delightfully unforgettable love stories of the year. So I'm looking forward to this one. I've had my eye on this, and I like to read with like readathons, and I haven't found a prompt this fits perfectly for yet, but this is definitely a priority, and I don't care at this point. I wanted to get it on a prompt, and I may have just kind of missed it because, you know, it's like, ooh, I really want to get to this one. Oh, but then this book sounds really good. And then, oh, I want to get to this one later. Oh, but then this book sounds really good. So I'm going to prioritize this one this summer and hopefully get to this one. So I'm excited. All right, moving on to prompt number 12. Hopefully the last roll. Yes, it is the last roll because I got a 9. Oh man, I blanked there. I knew that wasn't an 8. 6 and a 3 is 9. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Flag Day. All right, and the final prompt for my summer Cat-Walk TBR is Flag Day. Again, this prompt has come up in this round, and so just as a reminder, this is to read a book that is set somewhere where I have ancestors. Could be here in America or somewhere else. This is where I'm going overseas for this one. And I believe, at least I believe so. If I remember correctly, this takes place in England somewhere. And I want to say London. I could be wrong about that, but anywhere in the UK, so London, Wales, I have ancestors from England. So I'm going to go with England. If this actually takes place in like America for whatever reason, I don't think it does. I really want to say, I haven't seen the TV adaptation series and I haven't read any of this series yet, but it sounds like it takes place in London, or at least somewhere in England. And this one is Because of Miss Bridgerton. This is a Bridgerton prequel by Julia Quinn. So the Bridgerton TV series is based off of this series. This one's the prequel. And let's see, it says, sometimes you find love in the most unexpected of places. This is not one of those times. Everyone expects Billy Bridgerton to marry one of the Roxby brothers. The two families have been neighbors for centuries, and as a child, the tomboyish Billy ran wild with Edward and Andrew. Either one would make a perfect husband, someday. Sometimes you fall in love with exactly the person you think you should, or not. There is only one Roxby Billy absolutely cannot tolerate, and that is George. He may be the eldest and heir to the earldom, but he's arrogant, annoying, and she's absolutely certain he detests her, which is perfectly convenient, as she can't stand the sight of him either. But sometimes fate has a wicked sense of humor, because when Billy and George are quite literally thrown together, a whole new sort of sparks begin to fly. And when these lifelong adversaries finally kiss, they just might discover that the one person they can't abide is the one person they can't live without. And it doesn't say exactly where this takes place, but I'm pretty sure it takes place in England. If you have read this book or this series, definitely let me know for sure so that I know, but I'm pretty positive it does. So yeah, that is it. These are all of the books for my summer that I'm going to prioritize in the summer. So for my summer round of my Cat-Walk TBR, let me know, have you read any of these books or books from any of these authors? Definitely let me know. Is there one out of the stack you would like to see me prioritize out of all the others in this stack? Definitely let me know. Talk to me in the comment section below. And until next time, stay true to yourself and enjoy a good book. And I will talk to you later.